What is going on, everyone? Hope y'all are having a blessed Friday. Pick 23 is interesting for the Houston Texans. Now, this will be the first time in 2 years that the team is not selected in the top three or having multiple first-round draft selections. Number 23 is all you have. And I can see the Texans going different directions. At the defensive tackle spot, Byron Murphy, Jerzon Newton. At the cornerback position, Quinion Mitchell, Kool-Aid McKinstry. We talked about edge rusher Chop Robinson from Penn State, but what about the wide receiver spot? Because there's going to be some talent at pick 23. This is a mock draft from Ben Solik from The Ringer, and he had the Houston Texans at 23 selecting Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU. Now, we are going to react to this mock draft and talk about the possibility of adding this young pass catcher. Welcome, everyone, to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calavillo. Now, this episode was brought to you by my friends at Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code 713HOU for a bonus first-time deposit up to $100. And guys, once again, thank you all so much for watching today's episode. Now, once again, this is from Ben Solik, NFL writer for The Ringer. He did a mock draft, and at pick 23, had the Houston Texans selecting wide receiver from LSU, Brian Thomas Jr., and here's what he had to say. I love the idea of Nick Caserio loading the Texans roster with a wealth of pass catching talent so that C.J. Stroud's rookie contract doesn't go to waste. Brian Thomas Jr., who is about as fast as a receiver as you'll find in this draft this year, would be a great fit with Nico Collins and Tank Dell. All three can go deep, but the presence of Thomas will let Tank work more underneath and Nico more intermediate. Good balance. Now, he also said that Brian Thomas Jr. shows shades of Christian Watson, and then added some highlights at the bottom. Field tilting touchdown maker who burns past defensive backs and tracks the ball beautifully. His speed makes him dangerous after the catch. And then at the bottom, he has some cool emojis. Field tilting speed, sure hands, instinctual playmaking. Now, Brian Thomas is 6'4", 205 pounds. This is the exact type of wide receiver that NFL GMs fall in love with. His stats in his first year with the LSU Tigers, spent his first couple of seasons with the Bulldogs, really exploded onto the scene this year. 68 receptions for 1,177 yards and 17 touchdowns, which led the nation. Brian Thomas Jr., you had a fantastic season, and you're going to find yourself being selected in the first round. Some more strengths of Brian Thomas. Long strider with field stretch and speed and acceleration. Diverse release package. Covers so much ground with each movement and rarely takes false steps. Excellent fluidity at the line of scrimmage. His release and reaches top speed in 1 to 2 steps. Hand usage and play strengths to fight through physical coverage downfield. Ball tracking and footwork to convert difficult slot fades, gets both feet in bounds. Now, I absolutely love this selection for the Houston Texans. I think Brian Thomas Jr. can come in and have an immediate impact on this Houston Texan offense. Why? Because you're not asking him to be the wide receiver 1 or the wide receiver 2. That's Nico Collins and Tank Dell. Put all the pressure on those two and have you develop and grow, work under the GOAT Andre Johnson, who just got selected into the Hall of Fame, and become a weapon for this Houston Texans team. Now, I still think he will have an immediate impact because these wide receivers, they come into the NFL and are already playmakers. We just saw it with Tank. But Brian Thomas Jr., a 6'4" wide receiver who is one of the fastest wide receivers in this draft, as your number 3 is insane. It's almost unfair. And when you have a quarterback like C.J. Stroud who could put the ball anywhere, the sky's the limit for Brian Thomas Jr. This is why you like pick 23. Now, some of his weaknesses. Focus drops are a slight concern. Had a 6% drop rate this year. Now, that's not bad, but you want him to get more consistent at catching the football. Clunky and labored movements in and out breaks, stumbles sinking his hips and decelerating, timing routes lack precision and coordination, too many miscommunications with this quarterback. He's not that good of a route runner. That is something that he is going to work on when he gets into the NFL. That is the reason why I brought up Andre Johnson. Man, but at pick 23, I don't know how you don't look at Brian Thomas Jr. and not think this is a dude who could immediately come in and help this Houston Texans team. If you had Brian Thomas Jr., this might be one of the best passing attacks in the NFL next year. But ladies and gentlemen, you guys let me know what you think. Once again, our guy Ben Solik from The Ringer mock drafted the Houston Texans, selecting Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU, with the 23rd pick in this year's draft. For more Houston Texans content, you guys know what to do. Come back and follow me for more. Go Houston. You all have a very blessed day.